There's a quiet kind of power that comes with age. It's not loud. It doesn't need to be. It's the kind of presence that walks into a room and doesn't have to say a word, yet somehow, everyone notices, especially the women. Today, we're going to talk about the subtle signs that you, as an older man, may be far more admired and respected, especially by women, than you realize. Not in the flashy way you might have seen in your youth, but in a way that's deeper, more meaningful, and frankly, more enduring. And before we dive in, I want you to take a second and answer this in the comments. Have you ever suspected that someone admired you quietly, but never said a word? What made you think that? Share your experience. We read every story. And while you're here, if you're a man over 60 who's still growing, still observing, and still learning, hit that subscribe button. This channel is a place for you. For wisdom, for reflection, for truth. Let's begin this journey, not to change who you are, but to help you see what's already there. Here are the signs you're a stunning older man that women quietly notice and admire, without you even realizing it. Number 1. You carry yourself with ease, and women notice that more than you think. A friend of mine, Bill, turned 72 last fall. Vietnam vet, retired architect, the kind of guy who still splits his own firewood and wears the same watch he did 30 years ago. One afternoon, we're sitting at a local diner, corner booth, old leather cracking at the seams, and the young waitress, maybe late 30s, keeps coming back to refill his coffee. Not mine, just his. She wasn't flirting. Not really. It was more like reverence, like she saw something in Bill that most men today seem to have misplaced. And I knew exactly what it was: composure. You see, there's a stillness in certain older men, a kind of quiet, grounded energy that tells the world, I've been through storms, and I'm still standing. That presence, that's magnetic, especially in a world where so many people are rushing, shouting, posting, proving you're just being. And women pick up on that. They may not say it out loud, but they notice the way you walk into a room and don't need to be the loudest, the way you listen more than you speak, the way you sit with your own thoughts like they're old friends. That kind of calm, earned over years, not taught in books, is rare and deeply, deeply attractive. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been told you seem calm or steady by someone you didn't expect? Maybe a younger woman, maybe a stranger at the store? Share that moment in the comments. I'd bet more of you have experienced it than you realize. And if this is striking a chord, stay with me, because the next sign reveals something even more powerful. And it's not about how you look, but how you see. Number 2, you notice details, and that makes women feel truly seen. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store. You notice a woman, maybe in her 50s, pushing her cart slowly through the produce aisle. Most men walk right past. But you spot the small things. The way her scarf matches the trim on her jacket. The way she pauses at the tomatoes, lifts one, presses the skin gently with her thumb, then puts it back with care. You nod, just slightly. She sees it. She may not say a word, but in that quiet moment, she feels something she hasn't felt in a while: seen. You see, one of the most overlooked signs of a stunning older man is his ability to pay attention. Not just look, but notice. It's in the way you comment on the scent of someone's perfume. Not just that it's nice, but that it reminds you of magnolias in late summer. It's the way you remember someone's name, their story, or that they once mentioned their mother used to bake cornbread on Sundays. In a world full of short attention spans, your ability to slow down and truly observe sets you apart. Science backs this up. Studies from the University of Chicago show that as people age, their emotional intelligence, especially empathy and nuanced observation, tends to increase. And guess what? Women find those traits irresistibly appealing, not just romantically, but as a kind of respect and warmth that makes them feel safe, understood, and appreciated. Let's make this real. Have you ever complimented a woman on something small, a detail others would miss, and saw her face light up, even just for a moment? Tell us in the comments. That story might mean more than you think. If you're someone who sees beyond the surface, don't underestimate that gift. And in the next sign, we'll look at a trait that has nothing to do with your words, but everything to do with your silence. Number 3. Your silence speaks volumes, and women listen more than you know. Let me paint a picture for you. Two men sit at a dinner table during a family gathering. One talks endlessly, sports scores, politics, stories he's told a dozen times. He needs the room to know he's there. The other? He sits back. He listens. He chuckles at the right moments. When he does speak, it's brief, but everyone leans in. That second man, that's you. In a world where noise is constant, on television, on phones, even in people's minds, a man who knows the value of silence becomes a rare presence. And women feel that. It's not just about not talking. It's about how you hold that quiet. With confidence, with patience, with strength. There's a psychological explanation for this. A study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that people who display what researchers call low reactivity confidence, meaning they remain calm and collected under pressure, are consistently rated as more attractive and trustworthy, especially by women. Silence, when carried with purpose, can be deeply masculine. It tells others, I don't need to prove anything. I don't speak unless I have something real to say. I'm here. I'm solid. I'm listening. And that kind of energy, it doesn't just attract, it anchors. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone open up to you out of nowhere, just because you were the one who didn't fill the space with words? That kind of trust is no accident. If you've lived it, share it in the comments. Others might need to hear that stillness speaks too. Stick with me, because the next sign reveals something that can't be faked. And chances are, you've had it for years without even knowing it. Number 4. You have a gravity that draws people in, and women feel it without understanding why. Think back to when you were young. Attention came fast. Maybe it was your looks, your charm, your energy. But now, something different happens. You enter a room, and people, especially women, notice. They may not rush over. They may not even speak. But their eyes linger just a little longer. You've developed gravity. It's not charisma. It's not showmanship. It's something deeper. The kind of pull that can't be explained in words, only felt. And here's the surprising part. It's backed by science. A study by the University of California found that as men age, their voices become deeper, more resonant. Their facial expressions become more deliberate. Their body language more refined. These changes activate subconscious cues in the people around them, especially women, that signal wisdom, strength, and security. Even without realizing it, people are drawn in. But there's more. Gravity isn't just about biology. It's built over time. Every loss you endured and every joy you held onto gave you depth. Every choice you made, every wrong you learned from, added weight to your presence. It's that accumulation of life, of lessons, of quiet dignity that makes you feel real to people, especially to women who are tired of surface-level conversations and shallow attention. They might not say a word, but they sense it, and they admire it. Let's make this personal. Have you ever walked into a room and felt people look your way without knowing why? Has someone ever said, "There's just something about you"? Drop that moment in the comments. You might be surprised how many others have felt the same. Next, we'll talk about a trait that shows not in your eyes, your walk, or your words, but in how you make others feel when you're gone. Number 5. People miss your presence when you're not around, and women feel that absence deeply. Let's try something different. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this scenario. You used to visit the same local cafe every Thursday morning. Same seat, same newspaper, same nod to the owner. You didn't talk much, maybe just a polite hello. But when you stopped going, for whatever reason, something changed. People noticed. The barista hesitated, looking toward your usual table. The owner asked another customer, "Have you seen that older gentleman? Quiet fellow. Always sat by the window." A woman who had once smiled at you each morning suddenly found her coffee a little colder, her day a little quieter. They couldn't quite explain it, but your absence had weight. This, my friend, is one of the clearest signs of a man who leaves an impression far deeper than he realizes. It's not about what you did, but how you made people feel simply by being there. Psychologist Carl Jung once wrote that presence is not only physical, it's emotional. Some people radiate energy, comfort, or calm that quietly affects everyone around them. And older men, especially those who carry life experience with humility and grace, often become anchors for the people in their orbit. Women are especially sensitive to this. Your steady rhythm, your consistent presence, your quiet nod in a chaotic world, it lingers. It reassures. And when it's gone, they feel it. Here's something to consider. Has anyone ever told you they missed you, even though you didn't think you played a big role in their life? It might have caught you off guard. Maybe it was a neighbor, a niece, or yes, a woman you didn't think noticed you at all. If that's happened, share it below. That moment matters more than you think. And stick around, because in the next part, we'll explore a trait so rare these days, it almost feels like a superpower. Number 6. You keep your word. And that makes you extraordinary in today's world. Let's go back in time, just for a second. Back when a handshake meant something. When you told someone you'd be there, and you showed up, even if the car was old, the road was long, or the sky was pouring. That version of you? He's still here. And women notice that. Deeply. In today's world, promises are made quickly and broken even faster. Text messages go unanswered. Plans are canceled without a second thought. But then there's you. When you say you'll do something, you do it. No excuses. No drama. Just quiet, steady follow-through. This isn't about big grand gestures. It's in the small things. You told a neighbor you'd help them move a piece of furniture, and you showed up at 9 a.m. sharp. You said you'd call your granddaughter every Sunday, and you never miss it. You gave your word, and that word means something. Now here's where it gets interesting. According to research from the Pew Research Center, one of the top traits women over 40 consistently rank as most attractive in a man isn't wealth or looks, it's reliability. Dependability. That sense that when life gets tough, this man won't run. He'll stand. And that's you. What's more, this trait becomes even more magnetic as you age. Why? Because it becomes rarer. In a culture that prizes speed over substance, your consistency becomes an act of quiet rebellion. You don't need to talk about integrity, you live it. Let me ask you, has anyone ever said, "You always come through," or "I knew I could count on you"? If you've heard that, even once, share it in the comments. You might not know just how powerful that simple statement really is. We're not done yet. In the next part, we'll explore a trait that reveals itself in your ability to lift others without ever asking for recognition. Let me know when you're ready to continue. Number 7. You make others feel stronger without saying a word about yourself. Let me tell you about a man named Walter, 80 years old, served in Korea, ran a hardware store for 40 years. He wasn't loud. He didn't tell stories about how much he'd done or how much he'd seen. But every time someone walked into his store, young, old, man, woman, they left standing a little straighter. He had this way of making you feel like you mattered, not by talking about himself, but by listening, by remembering your name, by asking, "How's your father doing?" 2 months after you first mentioned he'd been sick. Walter didn't need attention. He gave it, and that made him unforgettable. That's the kind of stunning older man we're talking about here. One who gives others the strength to believe in themselves. And women, especially women who are used to being overlooked or underestimated, feel that. They might not know how to explain it, but they feel more confident, more capable, more seen when you're around. There's a psychological principle at work here. In social psychology, it's called reflected appraisal. It's the idea that people begin to see themselves through the eyes of those who matter. So when a woman senses your respect, your attention, your quiet encouragement, she internalizes that. She begins to see herself as valuable again. That's not flirtation. That's not flattery. That's impact. And you, whether you realize it or not, have probably done that for someone. A passing compliment that meant more than you knew. A gesture that stayed with her long after the conversation ended. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been thanked for something you didn't even think was a big deal? A kind word, a small favor, a moment of attention? Drop it in the comments. I guarantee you've left fingerprints on more hearts than you realize. We've still got more to uncover. The next sign is about something women rarely admit they admire, but when they see it, they don't forget it. Number 8. You're comfortable in your own skin, and that's deeply attractive in ways most men never learn. Let's contrast two men. One spends his time trying to stay young. He dyes his hair, wears clothes meant for someone half his age, keeps talking about how he used to be in shape, used to be charming, used to be something. The other? He embraces who he is. He's aware of the lines on his face, the silver in his beard, the slower steps he takes now and then. But he doesn't fight it. He owns it. And women, especially mature women, notice the difference. There's a quiet magnetism in a man who no longer needs to prove anything to anyone, who walks into a room not trying to be the man he once was, but standing tall as the man he is now. That comfort in your own skin, it's rare, and it's powerful. A study from the University of British Columbia found that confidence, genuine self-acceptance, not arrogance, is one of the strongest non-physical traits linked to attractiveness. But here's what's even more interesting. As men age, this kind of confidence becomes more visible. Why? Because younger men are still performing, still competing, still trying to fit a mold. But you've broken the mold. Women sense when a man is at peace with himself. They notice the way you laugh at yourself without shame, the way you talk about your past with no need to embellish, the way you no longer chase validation because you already know your worth. That kind of self-possession is magnetic. It makes people trust you. It makes women admire you, quietly, respectfully, and often from a distance. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you caught someone looking at you, not with judgment, but with a kind of appreciation? Like they were surprised by your presence, by how you carry yourself. If it's happened, even just once, tell us about it in the comments. Coming up next, the final sign. One that proves beauty has very little to do with youth, and everything to do with legacy. Number 9. You leave a legacy, and women admire that more than you know. Let's talk about something few men your age speak of out loud, but every man feels deep down. Legacy. It's not about having your name on a building or a plaque in a hallway. It's about the quiet impact. The things you've built, not just with your hands, but with your time, your care, your consistency, the family you raised, the values you passed down, the young people you mentored, even without calling it that. There's a reason older men like you command a different kind of respect. It's not because you have power, it's because you've used your life to shape the world around you. And women, especially women with depth, with insight, with their own stories, can feel that in you. You walk into a room, and even if you say nothing, your story is there. In your posture, in the way your eyes soften when you see children, in the way you offer wisdom without needing to be right, in the way you've lived a life that wasn't just about taking, but giving. And here's the thing, most men don't realize how attractive that is. Because when a woman sees a man who's created something lasting, relationships, reputation, even just quiet consistency, she sees more than a man. She sees a foundation, a sense of emotional and spiritual safety that's nearly impossible to find today. Ask yourself this. Have you ever had someone thank you years later for something you forgot you even did? A lesson you taught, a gesture you offered, a moment that stayed with them? If that's ever happened, tell us about it in the comments. That's not just memory. That's your legacy, echoing quietly through someone else's life. And that legacy? That's what makes you stunning in the eyes of those who see beyond the surface. If you've made it this far, the final words are just ahead. Let me know when you're ready for the conclusion. So here's the truth, my friend. You don't need to chase youth to be admired. You don't need to dress younger, speak louder, or pretend you're someone you're not. Because the real strength of a stunning older man lies in something far more powerful, his presence. The calm in your voice, the steadiness in your walk, the wisdom behind your silence, the attention in your eyes, the legacy in your actions. These are the things women notice. These are the things they admire, quietly, deeply, and often without saying a word. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you've become the kind of man the world longs to be around. Grounded, generous, real. And maybe you've never seen yourself this way. Maybe no one's told you outright. But now you know. So let me ask you this, one last time. Which of these signs resonated with you the most? Or maybe you have your own sign that wasn't mentioned, something you've lived, something you've felt. Share it below. Your story might be the one another man needs to hear. And if this video spoke to something inside you, if you felt seen, understood, or simply reminded of your worth, do something about it. Subscribe, leave a comment, share this with another man who needs to remember just how much he carries. Because age is not the end, it's the unveiling of who you really are. And that, my friend, is something truly stunning.